Amy should be on in a minute.
Okay, sorry for the delay, everyone. Are we all here? Do we have Mike?
He just said he texted me and just said his computer restarted on him. He's coming right back.
Yeah, mine was computer issues as well, so no problem. Okay, we're all here. Apologize for the delay. Good evening. Welcome to the Chenango Forks Board of Education Emergency Meeting, October 12th, 2020. Will the clerk please conduct roll call?
Amy O'Brien.
Here.
Lynn Lockwood.
Here.
Spiros Tomatoes.
Here.
Mike Vavra.
Here.
Mary Collins.
Here. We have a quorum. I call this meeting to order.
I, Erin McMullen, Board Clerk, have confirmed with Council that this meeting is being held in compliance with Executive Order 202.1, issued by Governor Andrew M. Cuomo on March 12, 2020. The Executive Order suspends Article 7 of the Public Officers Law to the extent necessary to permit any public body to meet and take any action authorized by law without permitting in-person access to meetings and authorizing such meetings to be held remotely by conference call or similar service. This meeting is being held remotely via Zoom virtual meeting software. The public has the ability to view or listen to this meeting live via the Zoom app, web browser, and/or by telephone. This meeting is being recorded and will be transcribed at a later date.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2.1 Board Report. Okay, who is speaking on this topic? It's the 8th grade closing. Spiros, were you speaking on it, Joe?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base on it. I didn't know if, Joe, do you want to say anything about the other?
Yeah, just really quick. The last conversation or email I had with Catherine Kazvinsky, elementary principal, we had a elementary student with a COVID diagnosis as well. And that quarantined right now. And again, the last conversation I was at 201, 3 adults and 10 students in the 5th grade.
You cut out. Could you repeat those numbers, please?
Sure. 3 adults, 10 students in the elementary school.
And that's 3 adults and 10 students positive?
One positive. The rest are all quarantined.
Okay. So we have only 1 positive case in the elementary, 3 adults and 10 students who are quarantined.
Correct.
And what I wanted to say about the 8th grade also, it dovetails right into this too. Something that I just think the rest of the board needs to be aware of, and maybe some of the public. Some people probably already know, because of the 8th grade and the quarantine there and the teachers involved. I got very firsthand knowledge of the quarantine rules. And it's almost like quarantine is kind of lost, the word quarantine kind of lost some of its meaning, because a lot of people, when you say quarantine, think about what's happened since March, which has been inconvenient. this quarantine rules, if you're quarantined because you're one of like the teachers, again, firsthand knowledge, it's quarantined. This is house arrest. And I think everyone needs to keep that in mind. I know we have, you know, a lot of people that want to keep students in school. And trust me, I want things to go back to the way they were more than any, well, not more than everyone wants the things to go back to, you know, and I'm not advocating for anything. I'm just saying something to be aware of. The quarantine rules, if you've been exposed, are pretty draconian. I have some real concerns with, I mean, you can't go out in public. You can't go on the sidewalk. If you go outside, you can't leave your yard. If you live in an apartment, you can't leave your apartment. If you live in a trailer, you're stuck in your trailer. They don't want people to share bathrooms. They want you to wear your mask all the time in the house. And I know there's other people, you know, that are probably in the Zoom call, and other, you know, other people on the board that know in very good details what the health department, they call, they check up on you. They have the ability to come to your house and make sure you're there. I know there's been a lot of people, especially on Facebook and whatever, you know, that have said early on and over the summer about childcare. Well, something to keep in mind, if we get more cases, you know, people not being able to go to work because of childcare. Well, if your kid is quarantined, not only you can't get childcare for a kid that's quarantined, you will be home with your kid. These rules are really, really strict. And it's not that you can go and get tested, but it doesn't matter. You're quarantined until the date. So that's just, you know, I know early on people have said, you know, oh no, we're not going to close unless we absolutely have to. Well, I think we just, and again, I'm not advocating that, but I just think there needs to be a discussion, and people really need to think that hopefully we don't get more cases. But if we do, we really need to think this whole thing through, because there's going to come a point, well, first off, that we can't do business because the wrong, you know, we're going to lose too many teachers. But another point is, and there's no good solution, but this is going to be, there's a burden on families either way. There's going to be a burden because if a kid is quarantined, how do parents take care of them? People are not going to be able to work. People are not going to, and then, God forbid, if the quarantine turns into a COVID case, then everyone in the household is quarantined. Because right now, it's just like the initial contact. It's a much bigger picture than what we discussed earlier. And again, the word quarantine has lost a lot of its meaning, because what's going on now is more of a house arrest than a quarantine. I can't stress it long enough. I shared some of the rules with other board members earlier that we typed up that from the phone conversation we had with the DOH. It's rough. I mean, and if you get quarantined, you have to take it seriously. You're not going to go to Lowe's. You're not going to go to the grocery store. If the whole household is quarantined, it's Instacart time. You're not leaving the house. And that's it. I just didn't know where everybody else was, and if everyone else has thought, I mean, the ramifications about kids that might be here's the thing, little Johnny is in a class that gets quarantined, and he lives in an apartment. Little Johnny's going to be stuck in that apartment for 20 days or 14 days. Stuff we have to think about when we make decisions. That's what I had. I'd really love to see what you guys have to think about it, because I know, you know, a lot of people think we have conversations all the time about this stuff. We don't get a chance, and we can't because it's a board meeting then. This is the only time we really get to talk about things like this.
Mhm. Does anyone want to add anything? And Joe, I know you guys have been great about getting information out regarding the 8th grade, but since we have this forum and the participant level, can you just give a blurb on where we're standing with the 8th grade and when they can return?
Yes, the letter is October 20th. Again, off the top of my head, I'd have to go back and check, but I think it's October 20th they can return. The letter is on the webpage for the middle school and the elementary case.
Thank you. Did anyone have anything else to add or questions?
I appreciate Spiro's sharing this, his firsthand experience with this. And I think we've done a great job so far containing it within the school. Like, we haven't had a breakout in the high school from our high school student, or a breakout in the elementary school from our first grade student. So I think the school's doing an excellent job of making sure everyone's following the rules and keeping things clean. And I still, prefer to keep the kids in school as long as we can, but I do understand what Spiros is saying. So we may have to consider this down the road.
Completely agree with everything you say, Spiros. Also got firsthand knowledge myself with my son now being under quarantine as the 8th grade there. But we could what if this to death. There's really no easy answer to this. And I agree with Lynn there. The teachers, staff, custodial staff, maintenance staff, everybody up and down here at Chenango Forks has done a wonderful job since we opened up school. And I still think we should wait till we absolutely positively have to close. And again, that could come, seems like any day now with what's been going on. But I think as long as we have enough staff to cover, I say we stay open. But I completely agree with how draconian the rules are here with quarantine, because it's kind of ridiculous what they have for sure.
Is that somewhere on the website, that quarantine list that you just gave us, Spiros? Is that listed anywhere? Is that something just because of you personally experienced it,
The only reason I got this is because when they called Nicole, because Nicole's quarantined, she had like a half-hour conversation with the woman, and her being an English teacher, she takes notes. So
Right.
she gave me. So basically, she typed up her notes from it, and that's where I got this all from. So that came from her conversation with the rules that were given to her orally. They were supposed to send a packet. She has not received it yet. And I don't believe everyone's even been contacted yet. The health department is swamped, and they told her that. I mean, they're absolutely swamped.
That's why I'm wondering if it'd be worth putting that on our webpage. These are the.
I would like to get something official from the health department, because again, this was Nicole's notes. I mean,
Right.
I'm sure they're accurate, but this is what she got verbally. So, I mean, as long as we, put the disclaimer that they were verbally given, because, I don't want, maybe there might be a mistake in there, things get, because it wasn't given directly from the health department.
Well, I'm thinking of the one directly from the health department.
Right. We have not received that packet. I don't know, Mike, did you get the packet?
I got a packet. Again, my wife was the one that talked to him and basically said all the same things you did. I'm sure It's probably on their website if people want to look there, but we could just tell people that's where you can go look instead of putting it on our page. I'm not even sure if we can or not, but I'm pretty sure that's probably on their health department website.
I have nothing to add at this time. Okay, 3.1. A motion for consideration of executive session to discuss personnel matters. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you, Spiros. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mary. Discussion? Roll call?
Amy O'Brien,
Aye.
Lynn Lockwood,
Aye.
Spiros Tomatoes,
Aye.
Mike Favra,
Aye.
and Mary Collins.
Aye.
Motion passed. Will we be taking any action when we return? No. Okay. So anyone in the audience who wishes to stay, they may, but when we come back out, I will only be adjourning the meeting. Have a good night. Thank you. And Spiros, we did it again 2 weeks in a row, or 2 meetings.
We did.
All right, we'll pretend we did it that way for clerical purposes, so Aaron
There we
could.
go.
I
Motion, thank you. Motion to reconvene in open session. Spiros motion. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Mike, thank you. And discussion and roll call.
Amy O'Brien, Lynn Lockwood,
Aye.
Spiros Tomatoes,
Aye.
Mike Vavra,
Aye.
Mary Collins.
Aye.
Motion passed. A motion to adjourn the meeting. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you, Spiros. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lynn. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.